Alright guys, today I'm going to be going over a list that a friend sent to me that he wanted me to look at. Looks like your typical collected elves list, maybe little differences. Get your go-to elves. That's definitely a little different. Um, Good card, but probably needs to come down. Um, Another good card, but I'd probably cut it. I'd say maybe a 3 of. And Secure the Waste being really good with Veteran War Leader Foul-Tongued Shriek. Doesn't necessarily play in with the elf strategy so much. And going 3 colors I think is not really necessary. I think I'm going to try to make a couple different builds out of this. I'm going to make just a straight green-black elves. And then I'm going to make an elf ally build, trying to synergize around Veteran War Leader, Secure the Waste, and Foul-Tongued Shriek. Let's see what we can put together. Alright, on first glance, I'm noticing that we're just really having a hard time getting early enough drops. Let's take another full hand. And even when we have a halfway decent hand, a lot of the lands are coming into play tapped, putting us pretty far behind. And the Foul-Tongued Shriek and the Might of the Masses isn't really doing us any good, since the first creatures we're probably going to get into play are either going to be off that Secure the Waste or the Collected Company. So I feel traditionally just lowering the CC of the build will probably help out. Let's look at one more hand. This hand is semi-playable. Let's see here. I'm going to go ahead and play the Canopy Vista. And then follow with a turn 2 Gilder, hopefully going turn 3 Company, which we will do. Wasn't the greatest. It's kind of a whiff at this point. We're going to get a card and a 3/3. Not that bad. But I feel lowering the number of this and Secure the Waste is going to make Collected Company a little better. Let's see. Draw a card from our Visionary. We'll go ahead and play this so that our Canopy Vista can come in untapped next turn. And I'm probably going to say it's either Nissa or Might of the Masses. I feel like we're going to save the Might of the Masses. I think we're going to go Nissa. Down to her and put a +1/+1 counter on all of our dudes. We're going to swing in with our 4/4 and our 2/2. And tap this guy for an additional +3/+3 to whichever one didn't get blocked. Probably pretty solid beats. And that's a pretty good draw for us. We're going to go ahead and up mode Nissa here to get us a plant token. Just a block. And let's go ahead and play these guys out. Draw a card off the Visionary. That's going to be a pretty good play for us next turn. And now we've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 Veteran War Leader. We're going to go ahead and crash in with him. This dude is actually doing much better work than I had expected. May continue on with the junk route just to see if we can't keep him in the list. Maybe even put some elf allies in here so we can get his trigger a little more often. And yeah, we're going to bash in here for quite a few. All right. Well, this is probably going to be decimating. I mean, we're just going to go ahead and +1 everybody. Assuming that they're not dead off of this swing. We've got backup end of the turn, secure the waste. We could have saved Nissa with some blockers. Let's say that we were at a board stall. Secure the waste for a ton at the end. Down mode Nissa to give all the tokens a +1/+1 counter, and probably take over the game next turn. Or we could collect it. Let's just see what would have happened. And that was pretty whiff-tastic. Still even more reason to probably take the number of these cards down, even though they do have some pretty good synergy in the build. Alright, that was our first Goldfish game. Let's go back to the deck. Alright, here we are back with the deck. I think the first thing I'm going to work on is the mana base. I don't think Westvale Abbey is personally that good in this deck, and I'm going to take out the man lands because they're a little bit too slow, and I'm going to replace it with caves and Llanowar Wastes. Me taking the CC down will make us a little bit more explosive during the early game, but it'll make us a little weaker in the late game. We're probably going to be top decking some 1-drops, but I personally think this will make the deck streamline, run a little bit better. Let's see. We're going to still be keeping some black in the deck. Let's just up that one more. The Secure I think is a good card, but doesn't really play in super well with the Elf strategy. I think it would be better in the sideboard against decks that are going to have sweepers and a lot of removal. So I'm going to take it down to a 2 of. Might of the Masses down to a 3 of. And Foul Tongue Shriek down to a 2 of, hoping to make the Collected Company whiff less often. And let's see. The rest of these guys look fine. I'm going to take the Veteran War Leader down to a 3 of. And let's see. Sylvan Advocate is a very, very strong card in the format at the moment. So let's add a couple of those. Sylvan Messenger at 4 mana for a 2/2 doesn't seem very strong, but coming off of a Collected Company and filling your hand back up is really strong, so I'm going to put a couple of these in. And I'm going to try to get us some lower CC elves. The Gnarlroot Trapper is pretty decent. And Thornbow. Hard to say. Gnarlroot probably gives us a little bit more diversity, while Thornbow goes ahead and gives us the 2 damage per swing. I think I'm going to go with Thornbow. let's see how this goes. Definitely a little smoother on being able, if this would have been a shambling vent, we basically wouldn't have been able to play anything on turn 2. So that already is an advantage. Let's play it. It's ramp or card draw. I think we'll save the visionary for later, so that hopefully if we top deck a land, we can go ahead and company on 3. I'm probably just going to go Gilder here, since he gives us a little more power, and the haste from Beast Collar Savant I don't think is going to crashing in for 1 on 2 is that big a deal. We did not draw land, but Elite is going to be a pretty good play here. Let's go Beast Collar Savant, Elite. And here we are at turn 3 with a pretty devastating board already, whereas in the last game we were just dropping a veteran warrior on turn 3 with nothing really on the field. Now we're cooking with gas. Let's see. We could leave mana up for company. If the board's open at this point, we're probably best route is just to swing in with these 3 guys and leave the mana up for our company. But I think I'm just going to go this route. Draw. This is definitely going to set us up for a really nice turn next turn. And we're going to swing in for 4. Whichever one of these was not blocked. I'm going to go ahead and Might of Masses for an additional 6 damage. And this turn will probably be the end of them. We're going to go Beast Collar for a black. Shaman of the Pack, hitting for a whopping 7 damage. Go in for swings. Lose a life here, Foul Tongue Shriek, and that's more than likely going to be well enough for game. Alright, let's try another one. This hand isn't super great. If we could play the Thornbow on turn 1 and then follow with Elite on turn 2, I guess we could do that off Caves. 4 lands is a little much. Let's just see what happens. For 4. Beats for 4, plus a trigger for 5. And this looks like it's going to be pretty much game. We're going to crash in with everybody. We're going to get our proc first before blocks, as long as we're not playing mirror match. And then whoever is not blocked, I'm going to Might of Masses for an additional 4. probably gonna, if they had blockers, gonna be blocking here and here, taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if they had more than one blocker, they're probably going to survive, and we're going to just tear them up next turn unless they have a lot of removal. But we also have the option of secure the wastes. So I feel that hand was pretty explosive as well. Let's try one more. Alright, this one's a little starved for mana. Let's mull it away. And no mana. Boy, it's just hating on me today. Alright, top is a company. We're going to move to the bottom. It needs to be a land. Not looking good. Been severely late in the game before we were able to get into something. Should have aggressively mulled that down probably one more. But I still feel this version of the deck is much more streamlined. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.